Yo, in this video, I'm gonna show you the 3 hacks that I use to add any techniques, systems, and concepts into your jiu-jitsu. Let's go. Step 1, analyze the game. For me, I love the lockdown and everybody knows that. So when I'm in the lockdown, I like to get onto this side. So I have this underhook. So this way I can start going under and get to my favorite attacks. But because my opponents knows that, so what they do is they start to cross-face me real hard. And this way, shit, like that. Right? And this shuts me down because I can no longer go the other way. So that is why I started thinking I need to master the octopus guard so I can start going over onto this side. The answer is the octopus guard. I've gone onto YouTube, found some awesome videos, and broken it down into the Way of BJJ app into our flowchart. And this is the flowchart that I created using the Way of BJJ app and the video from BJJ Globetrotters on YouTube. Using the octopus half guard to take the back is gonna be the main focus. But of course, during the training, I'm also gonna be looking for other attacks such as this hip bump sweep. Or maybe even using this fancy looking butterfly hook to elevate the opponent, get into a truck position, and to take the back, or maybe even going for a twister, who knows. But the one technique that I'm really interested in trying out is this. I'm curious to see if this particular move is going to help me get that near side underhook and play my lockdown game. Want to use the app like I did? Go to the App Store and download the Way of BJJ app and start your 7-day free trial. Make sure to select the Student Plus option to unlock the features for creating your own customized flowchart complete with YouTube video integration. Now let's go train. Step 2, design highly specific training with live resistance. In this type of scenario, we do not want to create an artificial training environment, meaning that I'm not going to tell my training partner what I'm going to do or how he should be reacting. So in the first round, all I did was ask my training partner to not let me sweep them, and they should try to smash me and pass my guard. So my first objective is to be able to build height and get up into a stronger posture and get my hip and my head as high as possible. So the first attempt went pretty well. I was able to get onto my elbow, onto my hand, and start shifting out the hip to take the back. And the next attempt, my training partner started to make adjustments. He tried to grab my ankle to slow me down, but because I was still able to build height onto my elbow, onto my hand, so I was able to out-angle him and still take the back. And the next attempt, my training partner made another adjustment. Instead of just holding the ankle, he scooped under my knee, and that presented a lot of problems because it destroyed my base and kept me flat on my back. So I also adapted by inserting the butterfly hook, which allowed me to start lifting him and getting my hip to the ground, and that gave me the power to get to my elbow and get to my hand. And that's when the whole thing turned into a truck battle, fighting for hip dominance to see who can take whose back. And in this exchange, I was able to win out in the end. And that is the beauty of structuring your training with highly specific objectives. In a 3-minute short round, I've collected more data than just randomly sparring for an hour. For the second round, I asked to start from the octopus half guard position so I have more time to explore and experiment with more attacks from the position. After being able to take the back so easily in the first round, of course that's the first thing I'm gonna try to do. But this time, he keeps his body so tight and not allowing me any room to operate. After being stuck there for a moment, I finally realized that in his attempt to kill all the space, he has got his weight too far back and sitting onto his heels. And that allows me to do the hip bump sweep that I saw in one of the BJJ Globetrotters video. and it worked. After getting his ego hurt, my training partner decided to put up a bit more resistance, and this time he was able to easily get his arm back to the front and pin me down with a body lock. And this is why this style of training is so good, because I can take that instant feedback and already make adjustment in our next attempt. And I'm already learning how to keep my body a lot tighter to his body, so this way his arm cannot swim through as easily. And just as I was about to take it back, the round ended. After just 2 short rounds, my confidence in using the Octopus half guard has already skyrocketed. And now it's time to start analyzing the data and improve from there. Let's move on to step 3. Analyze and repeat. Remember, the reason why I picked the Octopus half guard in the first place is because it complements my lockdown game. So it only makes sense for me to analyze the sparring footages and figure out a way to integrate the 2 attacks. And since I train at one of the best jiu-jitsu academy here in Vancouver, I asked one of my teammates, John, a blue belt, to help me out. We're gonna start in a half guard position where I have already been flattened out. And his objective is simple. He needs to pass guard or submit me, and all I wanna do is to sweep. In the very first sequence, I used an Octopus guard entry to get him to swim his arm back to try to cross face me, and I used that reaction to get my near side underhook and set up my favorite lockdown sweep, the electric chair. But in the second exchange, this time he's fighting very hard to not let me get that near side underhook, which allowed me to get into what I wanted anyways, the Octopus half guard. And because it's giving me so much space, I was able to scoot my hip out and eventually take the back. In the next exchange, this time he's had enough of either getting swept or getting his back taken. He decided to go on the offensive and setting up a darts choke. Going for the darts choke from that position means that he has no base on his right side, and that gives me an easy electric chair sweep yet again. Another reason why this style of training is so good is even though I am benefiting from becoming better at my attacks, but my training partner is also benefiting by becoming better at defending. And in this exchange, he is trying different hip positions and different hip pressures to try to shut down my movement. But because I can feel that his base is off, and that allowed me to get the hip bump sweep to get on top. And here is our final exchange for the round. And this time he's making more adjustments to his hip. He's trying to make sure the hip stays low so he doesn't get hip bump sweeped. But because he overcompensated and got his hip too low, that allowed me to get the lockdown and get another electric chair sweep. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how the Octopus half guard is fitting into my jiu-jitsu. And I can confidently move the Octopus half guard from just my training room into my game. If you enjoy this content, make sure to like and subscribe and share with other people. This is your BJJ Senpai, and I hope you have a good day. Peace!